Hello everyone and welcome to another Generals replay. This is Scottagorn.
Hello, and this is Pancake.
Hey Pancake. We are on Make today. It's a 2v2 between Skippy, China Nuke, Neo down on the bottom, China Infantry. Across from Neo, it's going to be Titan, Super Weapon, and up top, Synthesis, China Vanilla. What are your thoughts on this map, Pancake? Do you have any favorite positions on this map? Any favorite strategies here?
I like to bunker off the north and then just push with my teammate through the south. It's always nice to do a 2v1 on a 2v2 map. Force the players in your direction.
Yeah, this map's big enough that it's hard to get all the way over to your teammate if there is a double team. You're far away from each other. Even the two teammates start a ways away. Bunkering off the top makes sense because there's those bridges in between you and your opponent. Two bridges there up top. There's the third bridge down below. I like to play a little greedy here, being on top, and go across the river down below and get those extra supply boxes in the middle and try to capture both those oils. Looks like Synthesis and Skippy are not playing greedy, but Titan is looking like he's going all the way across over into Joe's space, going for the oil.
Oh yeah, look at Titan getting greedy with that oil. But Joe unaware of the super weapon, and his supply is going to get disabled.
Right, that truck is going to get disabled, preventing him from collecting supplies on that forward supply. Maybe it can't go over top the lip. Now, this matchup is a tough one. I'm thinking if I was super weapon versus infantry, I'd rather be infantry out of the two, just because of how effective minigunners are against all things airborne. What do you think?
I mean, super weapon versus any China is a tough for the China because of the EMP Patriots. You have a handful of those scattered, you just render any land army useless until they pull out range, which then you can pick off with some airplanes.
Yeah, it used to be
keep an enemy at bay.
In 1.06, those Inferno cannons would take care of EMP turrets pretty nicely, and they're still available now that we're playing 1.04. They're just not quite as strong. Neo sending in a flame tank, gets disabled within the range of that EMP turret that's going to go down eventually. It's interesting that against a USA player, Neo is sending Dragon tanks first, and he's not sending them all the way forward. He's actually using them as a defense as he gathers enough infantry to be able to push in. I do like an infantry rush against USA players. Second Dragon tank. This one's also going to bunker off. So I think as China, I'd like to see him. Yeah, I'd like to see him using Gatling tanks first. See if he can sneak some of those in there, pick off a couple of Chinooks, or at least force the Chinooks off of the supplies, disrupt USA's money early on, because USA has a hard enough time getting money early on. Now there's a infantry versus Humvee at the bottom.
Oh, we've got a little bit of action at the top. Oh, nope, we got scared away.
Well, Skippy is coming across the bridge, acting a little greedy, like I like to do, going across, see if he can use that to double his resources. He's already captured the one oil in the middle, and now bunkering off the two bridges.
The rear one.
Yeah, he's got the rear one. Now maybe sending over that red guard to get the front one, I hope.
Ooh. That EMP is just disabling every Dragon tank for Neo.
And now the laser lock to pick it off at range. Neo gonna capture that artillery platform. That could be tough for Tyler to deal with. Looks like that's just gonna outrange the fire base. Now Dan's sending in units to try to deal with this one Gatling cannon. Usually not very strong against tanks, but it does the job against those Gatling tanks, and so there really wasn't the troop composition that Dan needed there. one Battle Master might have been enough to push through that Gatling tank, or Gatling cannon. Just didn't have it with him. I'd like to see Skippy use some more bunkers up front. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised that, with Skippy's defensive ability, or art of defense, he is going for a mobile defense, which is also nice. You don't see that a lot out of Skippy. Usually he has a couple of bunkers down and some men in there, but I'm hoping that he can start capitalizing on some of these supplies that he's now captured and spent $2,400 on.
Yep, he got his teammate an extra oil as well. Joe came up and captured one of those oils. Yeah, a third Gatling cannon going across the river now. I do wish that he had a barracks and a bunker, because that would just diversify his defensive line there really nicely. That way it's not so exposed to stronger tanks like Battle Masters, Overlords.
Correct. There needs to be some rocket troops in there at least. You've got the GATs for the infantry and the airplanes, but
Yep.
there always needs to be some sort of rockets.
Dan's coming down, building what looks like a third supply down on Titan's supply, and bringing in MiGs against. Going for the trucks, okay. Didn't quite get a truck, but he's got the MiG started.
Neo is determined to take this ledge from Titan.
Yeah, but he's doing it bit by bit. I wish he would save up a little bit more. Like, if you're going to send in infantry, great. They'll do okay against those two defenses, but I'd like to see him send in more at a time. Now just sending in a couple more tank hunters. The fire base is not weak against infantry. There they go. I wonder if that was a missed input. They're just walking. I bet you that was a mistake, actually.
Take a look up top. We've got a nice push from Skippy, pushing across the bridge.
Yeah, I see that.
Wiping out Purple's army.
Here they come. Now Dan has the MiGs nearby. Maybe too close to one of those Gatling cannons. Yeah, this is a nice sized army from Skippy. Looks like he does have isotope stability, because one of his Battle Masters blew up and the rest did not.
He's still got the horde bonus.
Synthesis has an artillery platform captured. He's got some tank hunters coming in and an overlord. Doesn't look like enough to deal with this army.
He's too focused on the artillery platform. Rightly so, but need to get rid of those rocket troops. Woo!
Yeah, rocket troops are stronger than ever now that we're on 1.04. It used to be that they would take a long time to whittle down your tanks. Even though they're strong versus tanks, your tanks would have some time to come in and run them over. Now, you see just how quickly they are making quick work of those Battle Masters. Dan's focused on the Battle Masters first. So the Gatling tanks would still be strong against the infantry, but after all that, it looks like just a couple of infantry and one Gatling tank left for Skippy, so I think he was stopped on the doorstep.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Yep. And the Auroras are out. And it's Tomahawks versus Inferno Cannons.
Yeah. Which really I think is just a matter of who has more gathered together in one place, which Tyler's got 3, Neo's got just 1 coming in to see what's there. Yeah, with Skippy's attack there, something I noticed about this map is it's a 2v2, and usually 2v2 maps are a little bit smaller. This one's big enough that by the time you start your army walking across the map, by the time it gets all the way across, even if you destroy their initial army, the opponent has time to recreate more units and send them in into like a second line of defenses by the time you get there. So even if you win the initial battle, or if you have more troops gathered at first, it takes a lot more than that to actually make it through the opponent's base.
Which is where coordinated attacks come into play, right?
Right.
This is where, and we're starting to see
General's promotions.
no red planes up here. I was hoping to see some Auroras helping out purple.
Yeah, we see Skippy coming down with the carpet bomb, helping out Neo. And now Skippy with the MiGs. Skippy and Dan both on MiGs. Titan on Auroras. Auroras and Tomahawks, really. Trying to fend off these infantry pushes. Yeah, Skippy on the edge of Dan's base, just not taking out any buildings. Keeps on getting stopped by just the last bits, just the dregs of Dan's army.
So that should teach Skippy to send out some more troops. Slightly more composition, different composition.
Yeah, I wonder if he could also just communicate with Neo that he is pushing across the bridge. He has destroyed the first army and that Dan's base is exposed. I know it's a long ways away for Neo, but Neo's at the very bottom of the map right now. If they had concentrated on one or the other base, I wonder if they could have gotten farther.
All right, Dan, I think, understands that Skippy is doesn't have much of an army anymore, and he is trying to decide to push. Or is he just going to camp out? Artillery takes out Red's power. Red is on low power.
Yeah, Neo on the edge of Tyler's base, but just doesn't quite have what he needs at any one point in time. One troop crawler could be plenty, actually.
Wow.
It finds the Pathfinders. Boom. Yeah, but now all of those minigunners. Yeah. Shooting down the Chinooks. There they go, though, to the whatever that's called. Flashbangs. Yeah, the flashbangs took out all of them. So it does seem like Skippy and Joe are now both focused on Tyler's base, you can tell. Skippy just sent in the carpet bomb. Titan has been sending Auroras against Skippy's base up top. But now the airfield's down. The power's back up. Tanks are getting disabled.
Those generals' promotions were ruthless.
Yes. Yeah, the left team is both China, and I think they have better promotions than anybody else. You know, Joe's been in Titan's base this whole game, and Titan is pretty destroyed, lost his airfield, doesn't have a supply, but Joe's base, all of a sudden you look, and I figure he sold his command center. I don't know if he ever rebuilt it. Is he dozer hunted at this point in the game that he can't rebuild? Because he is looking bare bones. There's a dozer up top. He's building... No, that's Skippy. Is Neo hunted?
I believe so.
That might have been
I do
Aurora's.
not see a dozer for him. I was playing with Neo the other day, and within the first 5-10 minutes of the game, people understand if you dozer hunt Neo, you have a better chance of winning.
Because he builds so much, you got to prevent him from doing that. Of course, we saw that in the
Precisely.
1v1s. Titan dozer hunted Neo multiple times, and Neo just turned it to his advantage. Turned into all
Right.
offense, which you can see that's what he's trying to do against Titan. Just can't quite get into the meat of the base. Titan using these Humvees nicely
Well,
against
that's where
Skippy's
Skippy's coming.
mix.
Ooh. Look at Purple, building up their troop count. Pumping out of both war factories. He's got his secondary eco coming along.
Yeah, somebody needs to. Titan, just one supply drop zone.
That's a lot of battle masters.
Here, this looks like a game-ending sort of force right here with all these battle masters, but then Synthesis has these overlords just sitting in his base, sitting back in between the buildings, hiding out. But even so, you figure all of those battle masters can take it down pretty quick.
Well, they do have Nuke.
Yeah,
Titan
they've got
has
stability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sin has all the upgrades as well.
Yeah, they just
there come
drove
the
too
MiG.
close.
Yep.
Drove into the force instead of keeping their distance. You know, if you can get your troops in kind of a horseshoe or a semicircle around the enemy's troops, that's the best position to have them in, rather than driving them too close, getting them all fired on at one time.
Look at this. Sin is actually pushing into Skippy's base.
I'm seeing he has one overlord and one tank hunter. Is that where you're at? Just destroyed a war factory.
Yeah. Is this game getting turned around right now?
It looks to be.
It was leaning so heavy one way for so long.
Neo gets dozer hunted. Skippy, he's got a huge crater in the middle of his base. Might have come from Synthesis's nuke at some point. I think he's dozer hunted as well.
No, he's got a
cleans up the
dozer
overlord
down in the middle.
He's got one up front, rebuilding the command center. If he can get those general's promotions back online, that would help a lot. They do still have an oil in the middle each, Skippy and Neo. I know Neo's out of dozers. Skippy's just got the one, but there are boxes, there are crates everywhere on this map yet in the middle. Left of the river, right in the middle, right of the river, and then down on the bottom, both on Neo and Titan's side. Now Neo, with no bulldozers, has been able to just build an army up, looking pretty beefy.
Not as beefy as Purple's Overlord army. Oh.
Yeah.
General's promotion takes out all but 3 overlords.
Yep. Another nice carpet bomb from Skippy. Okay, so Neo cleans up the EMP turret that had been plaguing him all game.
There we go. Got out.
Disables the base.
Oh, who's Colonel Burton is that?
Gotta be Titans. Not the troops you need against the Colonel Burton. That Colonel Burton's not even breaking a sweat.
That's some nice defense.
Yeah.
Makes pounding Joe's army.
You know, I'm sure when they started from Joe's base, it looked like a nice group of troops, but by the time it drives all the way across the map, Titan has just enough time to pull something together to deal with it. Triple promoted Burton finally goes down, but takes out the whole army pretty much before it does. And the MiG cleans it up from Synthesis, and now we've got another artillery incoming.
Those MiG are just getting 2-3 hits on each of those armies.
Yeah, whittles
them down. Before they
down.
make it over. Nice artillery Takes out Skippy's airfield.
Now, Skippy did see it coming, so nice of Skippy to get his MiGs in the air before it was shot down. That was well done by him.
But Skippy and Neo are looking mighty small.
Just not much left. Trying to bring the MiGs in against Titan's command center, not the building you want to be fighting with MiGs. Really, MiGs shouldn't be used against buildings hardly in any circumstance.
They should be targeting these overlords.
Yeah.
Make purple pay.
Neo just barely in the game yet with that ore factory on its last legs. Titan saw it and now is completely immobilized Neo. That was his last production building. Cannot rebuild.
Well, he's got 4 troops and a ton of supplies.
Yeah, he's got a chunk of change. $8,000. That's not a ton, but it's something. Just can't build anything from it. Yeah, and now you see the force coming over from Synthesis. It's just one Overlord, one Battlemaster, and some tank hunters, but with Skippy nothing left in the back of his base, you gotta think this is the force that's gonna do it.
All Skippy has is what's in the middle right now.
Right, yeah. $2,000. Whereas Synthesis's money's going up a lot faster because he took the time to load up that internet center with hackers earlier in the game, has that oil in the corner. So he was the one that proved decisive in the end. So yeah, what I'm seeing from this game is Tyler just had a beautiful defense of his own base. Neo had strong group components heading out from his base, but by the time they got to Tyler's base, Tyler was able to just pull random things together here and there. Synthesis helped out with the MiGs, and Neo ended up just banging his head against a wall over and over and over again and just eventually wore himself out. Titan must have dozer hunted him. I heard about a Colonel Burton in the chat. That might have been what did it. Might have been the Auroras. So he kept Neo from being able to expand like he usually does. And then Synthesis, I think, outdueled Skippy up top because he had the extra resources, just a little bit more than Skippy, and relied on overlords. Skippy didn't have as many overlords or any bunkers or anti-armor strategies to deal with them. Synthesis also had the heavier artillery with the general's promotions and the nuke going on Skippy's base, so that helped. And in the end, that was the decider.
Yeah, it was a great game. Nice little comeback.
That's why you keep fighting.
I really thought the left team had it.
That initial push, Neo was in Titan's base, Skippy was in Synthesis's base. Halfway through, but just wasn't taking out the buildings. Couldn't quite get that far through.
But they
Any
did have
thoughts
some
on that
good
one,
coordination.
Pancake? What do we?
Yeah, they did have some good coordination between Skippy and Neo.
Yeah.
Bringing in his MiGs while he was attacking, that really helped with their initial push.
I mean, they almost had Titan out of the game. It was close. Just couldn't finish
I
off.
really thought they had it. I thought that game was going to end 10 minutes ago, and I thought we were going to see Skippy and Neo clutch a victory.
As long as Titan still has his command center, he's still going to be a potent force because you can, with those generals' promotions, you can still do a lot of work. Neo, I don't know that he ever had a command center this game, and so he was missing out on a whole lot of artillery, carpet bomb, all those things would have helped to take out Titan's remaining buildings.
Yeah, he's been testing out that strategy lately, and it's been working for him. Just didn't really pan out for him this time.
Yeah, just got to rebuild it sometime. All right, Pancake.
Once you get on the next peak.
I think that does it for this one. Thanks everyone for watching. We will catch you next time.